My beloved brothers, my beloved sisters, subhanAllah, for generations, Saudi Arabia has been the focal point for the Muslims because we were taught to face the Kaaba, which is in Mecca. The Kaaba is in Saudi Arabia. Of course, Mecca is there, the birthplace of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Mecca University, Medina University is there, one of the most famous universities in the world. And for generations, we considered Saudi, we the Muslims considered Saudi as the ultimate authority on Islam. It has become however, it has become a government that is not even religious. But we trusted them. We trusted Saudi. We trusted anything that came from Saudi. We got happy even to meet people that were from Saudi. But however, that trust has been shattered. The trust has been shattered because it has come to the reality has come that they are not religious at all. It's a political government. If the Saudi government was religious, they would use their 2.4% of the wealth of the billionaires there to end poverty, if not in the whole world, at least in a region. They could do it. If they were religious, they wouldn't make the Hajj out of reach of the common person, where you have to be wealthy or upper middle class to even perform Hajj, a sacred pillar of Islam. If they're religious, they could stop the genocide and the massacre and the oppression of the people in Gaza and everywhere else in the world. We here in America, at least, we're protesting the wrong people. We're protesting the U.S. president. We're protesting the Zionist Jews. Of course they're wrong, but that's not the root of it. They will be powerless if the Saudi government would stand up and be religious for a change and not allow themselves to become entrapped in just politics. If they were religious, if the Saudi government were religious, they wouldn't have so many frequent, questionable, and non-verified Hilal sightings that only serve to divide the Muslim community. I would argue that many of the Muslims are beginning to treat Saudi like the Christians treat Jesus, raise it up higher than it's supposed to be. The community is being divided only because of the way that Saudi is perceived. There is no evidence that the focal point of Islam should always be Saudi Arabia. It's only the direction for us to pray, and that's because the Kaaba is there. They reserve so much power, they have determined who gets to visit the inside of the Kaaba. And they're not even religious people. My beloved brothers and my beloved sisters, enough is enough. We have to stop somewhere. This madness has to end. Otherwise, our future generations are going to be at loss. Allah mentioned that in Surah Al-Asr. We're going to be at loss. We're going to lose unless we do the work that has to be done to put the focus on what it's supposed to be. The focus on Allah. The focus on Ahl Sunnah wa Jama'at. And don't look up to governments just because of the location where they are. And we have to do what we can to make an impact on Islam for the sake of Allah and for the benefit of humanity. May Allah accept the best of our deeds and forgive us for the worst of them.
Civilization which rose up in Medina, it took one generation before they moved to Damascus. So Arabia has only been important twice in its history. At the initial inception of Islam, and then when oil became valuable in the early 70s. It's also important to say that my government has never ever claimed a religious leadership. We go out of our way as a government to say we have no role to play in the development of religion. Now, we influence our religious scholars, definitely. And the royal family, for instance, in Saudi Arabia, again goes out of its way to say it's not related to the Prophet. We're just a tribal bunch of Bedouins who happened to win the war.